hustle in and get rid of your RNA once it's been done, and actually take those parts and use it for the rest, and reuse it. It needs to be able to recycle, not just degrade. And then you need protein processing. So you need to create your proteins after you've gotten your genes into like long sequences. Yeah?
By looking at this slide, I'm finally coming up with my own definition of what metabolism is, but I would appreciate your own definition.
My own definition of metabolism. So it's a set of genes that are necessary to get an organism to function and reproduce.
Pretty general. Okay.
Pretty general.
Okay.
That's my definition of it. In this
right.
organism, I think it's reasonable to characterize it that way.
Okay.
Because it doesn't have a lot of other things that it does.
All right.
Other than metabolism. Does anyone else have a decent definition of metabolism that they can think of?
I mean, normally they use it for energy creation, right? I mean, so I mean, your definition is very broad. I mean, you're almost using it to define the functioning of the cell, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, cells, they procreate, they communicate, they gossip, right? And then, of course, they need to eat. Those are three options, the three, I guess, roles, right? So generally, at least the way I understood it was the eating part is metabolism, right? So anyway, this is.
So, yeah, that definitely is the ability to transfer one set of molecules, we'll call them metabolites,
right.
A small set of molecules into energy and into activity would be energy metabolism. So it's a little bit complex though. And I really like that definition. It's sort of how I split it up here. Is you have these features right here, and then you have the energetics, which is what is typically called metabolism. So then you also have to have the cell structure and processes. That's not necessarily as important for these guys, but it's still somewhat important having some structure. And then your metabolism, your energetics, the way that you make a living in the world.
But your processes are really important, right? Because you talk about functions, and if you include signal transduction, that would be part of the processes there, right? So even if you do transcription factor binding and regulation and so on, wouldn't that be part of that?
Yes, exactly.
And would that again be part of the RNA metabolism?
Yeah, so all of this is really highly tied into each other. And so it's definitely, think of this as a system.
Right. Okay.
Splitting these as parts is a convenience in terms of explaining these in sort of smaller units. But really this is a system in the classic sense of every part working together, and being more complicated the more you look at any part of it. So I introduced this slide a bit ago. This is what we're talking about: DNA replication, DNA transcription, RNA translation to proteins. This is sort of what the fundamental idea